Hey, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm here to go over my regionals deck list and go over my matchups, my experience at the regionals. I went to Morgantown, West Virginia regionals February 10th. I had a great time. I actually saw a lot of you guys, a lot of viewers that came up and said hello to me. So shout outs to all you guys first off for saying hi, hanging out and that kind of thing. Please comment down below if you were there and if you said hi to me, and if you were there and didn't say hi to me, comment anyways, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you next time. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys my list, show you kind of how talk about how I prepared, how I came down to this list and that kind of thing. I'll just get started with how it went. So I ended up 4-3. It was only a 7-round regional with 128 players, I believe. Started off 4-1, and then I dropped the last two. Unfortunate, but yeah, so round one, I get paired up against Christian Urena. So I'm at a tiny regionals, and I get paired up against one of the best players in the country. So that was a little tough, but and I did lose that game. He was on pure snake eye. It was 2-1, and I'm happy with that. And honestly, I would have rather played just like 7 matches against him just for practice. I did have nerves get to me a little bit, to be honest. I didn't play optimally, and I definitely could have played better and might have even been able to win one of those 2 games in the match that I lost. But you know, hey, it comes with experience, and you know, it was good for me to have played against him. Okay, so and then the next 4 rounds were wins. 2 of them were Centurion, 1 was Marincess, and 1 was TG. I actually dropped a game to TG because he's Calamities locked me. I had no idea what the deck was doing, but yeah, it was okay. And then round 6, I lost to a Centurion. I played 3 Centurions out of 7 rounds, which was a little insane. And then round 7, I lost to a pure Snake Eye. So yeah, it was a good tournament. It was good experience. I was really happy with my list, and I'm excited to show you guys what that is. Obviously, you can see that it's Kashtira with Vanquish Soul cards, but it's not a typical list. So I'll get into that in a bit, but really, like, when it came down to picking a deck for this tournament and for this format, this was the first weekend of like full power Snake Eye format, Phantom Nightmare release, and I basically kind of decided I was going to play a shifter deck because I don't have the fire cards. I'm not a Labyrinth player, and I think this was my best option of what I owned. Like, my only other option that was like high quality was pure branded Despia, but I wasn't feeling super comfortable with this deck, that deck, and I was feeling more up to speed on the Cash Vanquish Soul list that I've been testing for a few weeks now. So yeah, I really wanted to just take this and see how it went, see how many times I could draw shifter and cheese some wins. So I don't know, I couldn't stand up to the Snake Eye deck without drawing shifter. Like, I had no chance really without shifter. So that's basically what it came down to. But anyways, let me go ahead and walk through this list, and I'll try to get into a bit of detail here about why what my card choices were and why I chose them. So as you can see, just starting off, we have like a unusual Vanquish Soul list because I'm playing Unicorn, and really like we'll see it when I show the entire list. But what it comes down to is I don't actually like all of the Vanquish Soul cards. I don't think they're that great. I think a normal Vanquish Soul deck kind of just combos you, gets you a ton of cards in hand that just don't provide interruptions. Like, your pluses don't convert to interruptions, and I don't really like that. So that's why I'm playing a little bit heavier of a Kashtira package. So let me go ahead and show you what that is. So for the cash cards, I'm on 3 Unicorn. I think Unicorn is absolutely nuts. Kashtira Birth is absolutely nuts, especially in this format. Just being able to banish 3 out of your opponent's graveyard is way overlooked. Just if you open Unicorn plus Vanquish Soul cards, like, you're cooking. And then we have 3 Fenrir, of course. Like, this is Vanquish Soul and Kashtira standard. And then just 1 Rise Heart. Honestly, I thought that was fine. I didn't feel a need for Scareclaw Cash or any more Rise Heart. I thought this was good. Only 2 Planet. Yeah, that's weird. To be honest, I only own 2. But honestly, for the deck space, I wanted to keep it at 40. And I think 8 big Kashtira monsters, like 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, and 2 Planet was a good amount. Like, I was happy with that, and I didn't need any more. Plus, I could have played 3-planet and like take out a unicorn or take out a Fenrir, but that plays into Droll. I might as well just play the full monster count and then just have a couple extra searches here. 2 copies of Birth. Birth is absolutely nuts, awesome for follow-up and everything else. And then 1 Theosis. I'm not afraid to use Theosis in this deck. I know that Rock of the Vanquisher is a major part of the Vanquish Soul strategy, but once you see the Vanquish Soul package, you'll see it's not a big deal. Plus, Theosis is, it locks to an Exceeds after you use it, so you can go into Rock and then Theosis after if you need to, and that's totally fine. On to the Vanquish Soul cards. So I'm still on 3 Raisin in this deck. Let me just put them out. 3 Raisin, 1 Mad Love, 1 Xiaolong, 1 Borger, 3 Stake Your Soul, and then 1 Dust Devil. I've tested to come to these ratios for a while, so I didn't just randomly pick these, but honestly, I think these are the best Vanquish Soul monsters here. I think Raisin obviously is the best one. It searches whatever you need. Mad Love is incredible searching Dust Devil. This card was so good all weekend. I tested Snow Devil for a while. Snow Devil's only good when you have all 3 attributes, basically. And that is just so uncommon, and it forces you to play cards and play cards in an order that is not optimal to force attributes into your hand. This card is just live all the time. Like normal summon Mad Love, search Dust Devil, and with your rest of your Fenrir board, or I mean your Kashtira board, you are cooking. Okay, so I wanted a much simpler Vanquish Soul package than what a full Vanquish Soul thing offers. Like Caesar Valius, I didn't play that because it's only really good if you have all 3 attributes. Again, you're not going to usually have those, okay? I'm going to want to use my hand traps whenever I want. I don't want to have to hold Bell to be able to use Valius because I'm low on Earths. Yeah, that whole kind of thing. Like, the only reason I would have played Valius is because it's 3,000 attack, honestly, so... But I didn't think it was necessary. But anyways, a majority of the time I go Raisin, search Mad Love, link Raisin into Rock, Rock, summon Mad Love, search Dust Devil, and then Kashtira plays, okay? That is the majority of opening turns. For follow-up, we have more Raisin. We can search Borger if we already have the Mad Love, get the draw. We can search Xiaolong for the fire, so the Raisin has a pop. Like, that's really the main reason to search Xiaolong. Or it's just an extender. Like, it's literally, you summon Xiaolong, you don't use the search, but you can go Xiaolong, link into Rock, and now you have your Raisin to go into rank 4s. This deck is so heavily leaning into rank 4 plays instead of links. Like, just having Raisin into Rise Heart, into Dweller, into Tornado Dragon. I'll get into that in a bit. Those cards were the best cards in the extra deck all weekend. Rock is just not as necessary with this small of a Vanquish Soul package. And Stake Your Soul is excellent because Unicorn and Fenrir, like in a chain, gets you to Stake Your Soul. Like Unicorn goes Theosis to Fenrir, Fenrir to Rise Heart, and then Rise Heart with Stake Your Soul into Raisin, and then you're set to go. So yeah, you can't link into Rock, but honestly, like for going second, that's totally fine because you can just summon the Raisin in the right column, search a Dark, and you have a Dark plus Rise Heart Raisin pop. So going second, that's totally fine. And even going first, most of the time you have access to Rise Heart right away without using the Theosis. But I really recommend you trying out this level of Vanquish Soul package because I think it's, I don't know, it's just a different way to play the deck, honestly. So just give it a go. And, you know, if you like to lean into Kashtira a little bit more like I do, I think this list was excellent. And I wouldn't change any of the engine, really. So let me scoop up this engine here. And then we'll get into the non-engine / consistency cards. Starting with 3 copies of Prosperity. You know, you can always use this, and it's an incredible card. 1 Rhoda, still want to search that Raisin. 1 Called by the Grave, probably the best, you know, non-engine, like single non-engine card this format. It just destroys Fire King Snake Eye. Called by is so good. Going first or second, setting it as a trap is incredible. Even going second, it's incredible because you can just hit the Promethean out of the graveyard. I main deck 2 Cosmics. I think Cosmic is also fantastic this format, and I was definitely willing to main deck it. If you guys saw my non-engine spreadsheet thing, Cosmic turned out at the top when I rated it against all of the decks that I expected to be playing against. and I listened to it, and I played Cosmic, and it was one of the best cards in the deck all weekend. And then for the hand traps, I was on 3 Imperm, 3 Shifter MVP, of course. It wins games. It won most of the game, almost every game that I saw it. 3 Ash and 2 Bell. So we were on 11 hand traps here. 2 Cosmics for the remaining 2 non-engine, and called by if you want. So 11 hand traps plus the 3 spells here. And then, like, you can also really consider Fenrir's as non-engine, so as like board breaker material. So that's just why the deck was so good. Like, we had 11, 14 plus 3 Fenrir's and 2 field spells, so that's 19 essentially board breakers in your deck, or non-engine, or, you know, going second cards in your deck. So it really stood a solid chance against every matchup, and all of these cards came in very clutch. Yeah, in terms of this main deck lineup, I don't know what I would change, if anything. Like, honestly, I was pretty happy with it. Maybe the bells, they were like okay, but I mean, I'm kind of biased because I played against Centurion 3 times and it does actually nothing. So yeah, it was all right. Oh yeah, and I played against, that's why. So I played Ashes and Bells because I was afraid of Labyrinth. I thought I would be seeing a lot of Labyrinth. I saw 0 Labyrinth the whole day. I saw almost nobody on Labyrinth in the whole tournament, and I was blown away. I thought Labyrinth would be probably the 2nd most represented deck after Fire, and there was nobody there. So the Bells definitely did not come in clutch at this particular tournament, so I could have definitely swapped those out for something more useful. And I obviously sided them out in most games. For the extra deck, Link Monsters, 2 rocks. We only have a small Vanquish Soul package. We're usually not even linking off because we're Exceed locked with Theosis or special Rise Heart. So only the 2 rocks. I didn't need 3 in this particular deck. 1 IP, 1 SP, and then while they're in the links, I'll show you the last 2 links, but they're really the last cards I added to this extra deck, and I never summoned them at all tournament. But I played 1 copy of Hida and 1 BLS Soldier of Chaos. So my theory was, with Hida, was that it would be it would lead me into basically a 1-card SP with a banish. So the theory was I go Raisin effect, summon Xiaolong. Raisin effect, search Xiaolong, or reveal Xiaolong summon itself, link into Hida summon an opponent's Ash, or if they're on a fire deck, summon anything, and then Hida plus the Ash equals SP. So that's why I played Hida, was just 1 card Raisin can turn into the SP. BLS link was for kind of like random decks that require targeting. Honestly, we could go into it against the Runic deck in case I ran into any Runics. It's also very good into Rescue Ace because all of their spells and traps target, or all their traps target, and if you can make the big untargetable guy, then you are set to go and are going to probably crush that matchup. So it was just for niche situations. It never came up. If you guys have seen my deck profiles, I actually really like this card and I play it in random stuff because I think it's underrated. But I mean, maybe I'm an idiot because it never came up to this weekend, so whatever. For the rank 4s, I was on 1 Baguska. I never made it this particular tournament. 1 Tornado Dragon. This card was fantastic, and I think it's slept on. You know, I made this, obviously it came in so clutch against Centurion. Like, I put 2 4s on board. Hey, anything here? You gonna summon anything? Nope. Okay, overlay into Tornado Dragon. Now if they try to summon something, or if they try to use the field spell to synchro summon, when they do summon something, okay, Tornado Dragon pop, and you know, you're kind of cooked. Well, obviously it doesn't work against the field spell, but yeah, just making this into their set, like trap monsters, was just GG's. And then also when I shifted somebody and I could make a rank 4, I didn't want to go Dweller because Dweller and Shifter is not, I mean, there's no point. So I just went into Tornado Dragon, and it actually stops a lot of the plays. Like a lot of the plays people can make under Shifter have to require like field spells or whatever. So I would just go Shifter and then make Tornado Dragon, and that pretty much outs whatever someone's trying to do. For the rank 7s, 1 Draco Sack, 1 Big Eye, 1 Flare Metal, and 1 Dark Armed Dragon of Annihilation. I never made Big Eye the whole tournament. I actually made Flare Dragon like late in the game when I got my opponent down to, I think it was 2400, and then I just summoned the Flare Metal, and I was like, okay, you have to break my board and you know, beat me with only 4 effects. So Flare Metal won me that game, but otherwise it was just a Zeus monster, right? I played Zeus and Typhon as the last 2. And when I needed to crash into something for Zeus, I usually summoned Flare Metal or the Draco Sack. And then the Dark Armed, it was solid as well. It was fine, but it's whatever. Actually, no, it's not whatever. Like this is the best rank 7. So let me rephrase that. This is the best rank 7 here, especially if you know the Kashtira combos, like with Rise Heart. You know, banish something you don't need, and then you banish your Theosis with this, get it back, and all that kind of thing. So. This was the extra. It was okay. It was solid. I don't know what I would have wanted to add. Like, you can only really play rank 4s, rank 7s, and link monsters, and there wasn't anything I was missing. I didn't want anything else. You don't rely on the extra deck in this deck like you do, like you might in like your normal combo deck. So I think this was a solid lineup. It was very versatile, covered in whatever matchups or scenarios that I think I would have found myself in. So that wraps up the extra here, and then I will go through the side deck, which was 3 copies of Nibiru. So I sided this in going first most games. You never want to side in Nib going second in Kashtira, because even if you nib them, you have a nib on your field, and now you can't summon any of your Kashtira monsters. So there is some anti-synergy there, but nib going first, like making your board and then having nib as a backup, is fantastic. So that's where nib comes in. 3 droll for whatever I might run into that droll is good against. It's good against Fire King Snake Eye. It's not very good against pure Snake Eye. In case I ran into Manadium, or in case I dealt with any other random combo decks or rogue strategies, I just wanted to have droll available. 3 copies of Book of Moon. This was intended for Pearly, but I saw 0 Pearly there. But it did come in nice against Centurion, so I did play some side book in a little bit, and then against the random combo decks, book is still good, so I was fine playing 3. 3 different dimension ground. This card was fantastic, and you know, Shifter is just so good. Why not play 3 more copies when you're going first, right? So I thought DDG was fantastic, and I was a big fan of it in the deck. And then the last 3 cards are 1 copy of Bell, the 3rd copy. I remember I'm maining 2. The 3rd copy of Cosmic, I'm maining 2, and I wanted a 3rd one. And then for the final slot, just 1 Lightning Storm, just for extra back row removal, it's good into random matchups and that kind of thing. So yeah, I was happy. Well, I don't know, the side was fine. Ideally, I would play stuff like maybe like Soul Release or something, but I don't own those. Droll just never came up, but it was my matchups, and I'm sure like if I ran into Manadium, I would have been like, well, shit, I wish I had Droll in there. So like, it's almost like you gotta play it. You gotta play it just in case you need it, because it's so high impact and that kind of thing. But yeah, I was satisfied with the whole list, honestly. There wasn't really anything I would change going forward. Obviously, I only went 4 and 3, so maybe there should be something I should change, but I don't know. That's just how I feel about it, and I was pretty happy in general. And then I like to show my pickups. First of all, I started off my tournament fantastically with my entry packs. I pulled a Promethean Princess and 1 Psychic Processor QCS. The new guy summons a Psychic Machine, or what is it, Cyburst from your hand, summons 2 of them, so that's kind of cool. And then now I have a Promethean, and honestly, well, I'm not playing the fire decks, but I do think Promethean is just a really good card to have. I want to play Hida, Promethean, and Ambla Whale in just random decks. Anything that plays a fire, like pure Vanquish Soul, I would play that package. I would play this in Sky Striker maybe. You know, you can go Kagari into Hida, into Promethean, into Amblo, and it's just so much follow-up. This card is just OP, and anything that I play Fire Monsters in, I should just play this card, so I'm happy about it. And yeah, so that was my entry packs. I was super stoked. I did trade for 2 copies of Vados. There will be Ashened content coming soon on the channel. I'm probably actually going to record it after I'm done recording this video. So, subscribe to the channel if you want to see those. I got 2 more copies of Duality, so that finishes up my playset. I now have 3, so I can play the Bestial Runic deck or whatever Runic deck or whatever I might need it for. I just think it's a cool card to have a set of. And then the highlight for me personally is 1 Ghost Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. And let me tell you why this card is significant. If you have seen my collection videos before, you might know that I'm trying to collect 1 of every Ghost Rare in first edition. I can't really show you. Oh, here, I can zoom out a little bit, maybe. Anyway, so I have a lot of Ghost Rares, and I am missing 3 to finish my set. Until right now I'm missing 2, because Sphere Mode was one of the 3 I was missing. Only need Majestic Star Dragon and Stardust Dragon remaining. Yes, Stardust is damn expensive. Majestic Star is dropping in price, and I am patient. I've been collecting them for years, and I can wait to get the last 2 at a good price or something like that. So, yeah, stoked about that. Overall, had a great time. I had a great time meeting all of you guys that said hello, and guys from Top Deck just hanging out. You know, thanks for chilling, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and let me know what you think of the deck. I recommend you test it out. I think it's fantastic. I found it way more fun than playing Vanquish Soul, like the standard list, but that's just me. I can see why you might like the regular Vanquish Soul. Like Caesar Valius is a really cool card, but I just don't think it's ideal. So, yeah, that's all there is to it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll see you later. Have a good one.